Welcome back from an ad break. We are going to continue with our lesson under the topic, the impact of recent legislation on businesses. We have covered the BCA. Now we're going to focus on the COIDA, which is the Compensation of Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act. So what is the purpose of this legislation? It provides a comprehensive protection to employees who are injured in the course of performing their duties. So comprehensive meaning what? A full protection, basically. Full protection to employees who are injured in the course of performing their duties. Basically, once they get injured whilst they are still on duty. We're not talking about a person who will be injured while they're busy doing their work and then come and claim that, but I'm an employee of this business. No, but where were you during that time? So it's very important that we understand that all of that, the injuries happened whilst you were still on duty. Right, so COIDA applies to all casual and full-time workers who become injured due to a workplace accident. Very important, due to a workplace accident. So it applies to such people. But if it's not due to a workplace accident, then it does not apply to you. Right. It excludes workers who are guilty of willful misconduct. So if you got injured due to negligence, maybe, or you knew very well that you're not supposed to come into this area, especially if you're not protected, you're not wearing the right clothing that you're supposed to wear, and then you get injured by doing that, then it excludes you because this is willful misconduct. It's negligence. You knew very well that you're supposed to protect yourself. However, you did not protect yourself. So this is the purpose of COIDA. Very important that before you can study the impacts and the other things under COIDA, you understand the purpose of COIDA. So here, full protection for employees who are injured in the course of performing their duties. Very important. Very, very important. All right, we're going to move on to the impacts of the COIDA. So what are the impacts of COIDA? We're starting off with the advantages. Don't forget, impacts refers to the positives and the negatives. Right, so what does COIDA do? It promotes safety in the workplace. Employees do not contribute towards this fund. So who contributes if it's not employees? It's the employer's duty to contribute. So as employees, we just enjoy working and complying and following the rules basically, but we do not contribute as employees. The employer is the one that contributes towards this fund, which could be a disadvantage, especially if the business is not doing well financially. So, but now it's good for us as employees because you're not contributing. It makes business to be more socially responsible as they cannot just employ workers at random in dangerous working conditions. So you need to ensure that as a business, it is safe. We are employing people to work in a safe environment, as you've mentioned in the first bullet, to say it promotes safety in the workplace, because if it does not promote safety, or if we do not ensure that employees are working in a safe place, then it means we're going to be paying quite a lot of people because they'll be injured. There'll be injuries every now and then. And if there are so many injuries, that could also lead to a negative publicity, and nobody would want to work for us if we are known for of injuring people. Right, so the negatives of this particular legislation is that the claiming process can be time consuming. So here we are also referring to the admin work. There's a whole lot of paperwork, a lot of investigations that needs to go through this, because we need to investigate what happened, where was this person when this was happening, why, and all those things. So the claiming process could be time consuming, so many investigations that needs to take place here. And the implementation processes required by the Act can be expensive. So if we want to put this into action, it can be expensive. Like I said, the employees don't have to pay anything, but as employers, we have to pay. Right, so workers who are permanently employed in foreign countries are not covered, unfortunately, because we cannot even prove, there's no proof that the injuries took place where and all that. So workers who are permanently employed in other countries are not covered. So only those that are employed in the country. Right, so now we are going to be looking at the penalties to say if we do not comply, what happens? So these are the punishments. And remember, I said this is a negative thing, and we don't want to find ourselves being involved in all of these negativities or negative things. So it says here, businesses may face heavy fines for non-compliances. Fines again. So heavy fines sometimes could be money. So if it's a heavy fine and a business is not doing well financially, and then it is it's a negative thing, and we don't want that. So businesses may face heavy fines for non-compliances. They can be ordered to pay compensation and damages to the employee. As a business, we have to take money from our own pocket and pay compensation to those damages. And where is the money coming from? From us, which is something else that we don't want. Labor inspectors may conduct on-site visits to interview employees, which can create a bad image for the business. Remember when I said to you, there's going to be investigations that take place. So here, these are the investigations that are taking place. So labor inspectors are conducting these visits to interview employees because they want to ask them that, okay, what happened? Or how do you feel working here? Is it safe to be working here? And all those things. Are you given the protective gears here? Do you feel safe to be working here or not? Or do you feel like it's not safe to be working here? So that could lead to what? It creates a bad image for the business. So nobody wants to be associated with such a business. All right, so if we want to avoid all of that, what must we do as a business? We want to avoid all those negative images, all those creating bad publicities. We don't want all of that. What must we do as a business? We need to comply with COIDA. We need to abide. We need to follow what the legislation requires from us. So the first thing that we need to do as a business is to register with the Compensation Commissioner and provide the particulars of the business. What do you mean by the particulars? Who have you employed? How many people have we employed, and what is it? What is the nature of our business, and so on and on. So it is very important, and not only register, but we need to report all accidents causing the injury of employees. That needs to be reported timely, on time. As soon as it has happened, it needs to be recorded. Reported. All of that, and then the other thing that needs to be done: levies must be paid to the compensation fund. Now, who pays these levies? Don't forget, it's the employer, it's not the employees. So levies must be paid to the compensation fund. Failure to do that, it will lead to what? To the penalties. Don't forget that. All right, so we've come to an end of the lesson. I hope you've thoroughly enjoyed the lesson, because I've enjoyed it, and not only enjoyed, but I've learned so much. The BCA and the COIDA. Don't forget, we spoke about the BCA having the provisions, but the COIDA doesn't have provisions. Don't forget that. So I'm hoping to see you again next time. Goodbye.